It's a large community. Take advantage of that. Beautiful. Keep it coming, people. Keep it coming. Awesome. That's so good. Nice, nice, nice. If you're joining us from YouTube or on Facebook, you're welcome. We are happy to have you here with us. We are doing some introductions. Go ahead in the chat box, in the comment section. Comment your name, your career or your business, and of course your location, so that other people can, connect with you and exchange with you also. Beautiful. Welcome again, everybody, and Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody on the call right now. Happy New Year to you. Welcome to 2026, and welcome to the first mentorship call for the year for members of the community. You are welcome, and it will definitely be an incredible time. Beautiful. All right. Good to see some faces I have not seen for a while. Good to see you all. All right, we are going to get to it. We are going to get to it. We're going to have a good time of learning, a good time of growing, a good time of becoming better professionals, better experts in what we do. Every year, I always have this kind of special calls at the beginning of the year, and I do this with members of my mentorship community that I have been running for close to 9 years today. And we are always so generous that most of our first mentorship calls for the year, we open it up for the public. That's why, the Zoom link was shared on the mentorship interest group, not only in the registered, mentees group. And of course, it is being streamed on my YouTube channel and of course on Facebook, because sometimes people wonder, how does it look like, or what kind of ideas or things will they be sharing in the mentorship community. And also, one thing I did for the first time was that the Mentorship Academy, that has previous masterminds and master classes that I've had with previous mentees, I opened it up for the public for the first time. And I got incredible feedback from the people, like, oh my goodness, this is what you do with your mentees. Yes. And that is so good. So it's a new year, and a new year is an important time to come together, to re-strategize, to create a plan, to execute it, so that we can partner as a people, as a community, and serve as many people as possible. So today is the first mentorship call for the year 2026, and most of the previous mentorship calls will not be in public like this. They will happen within the private exclusive mentorship community of those who are registered mentees for 2026. Before I get into teaching and leading a very specific mastermind or masterclass program on how you can apply the iceberg theory and become an elite performer in what you do, whether you're a career person, you're a business person, I'm going to show you something that if you can adopt it and integrate it in your life, trust me, you cannot fail in life. Like I always say, there are some things that if you know and you copy and paste, it doesn't matter your location, it doesn't matter where you are, if you're able to contextualize it and pay the price to discipline yourself to execute, you can move your life 10 times ahead in such an incredible way. All right, so before we get into that, I decided that I was going to, there are some people on this call right now who have been mentees for, 5 years, 3 years, some longer than that. And I decided, you know what, a few of you should come share your experience of being in the mentorship community and the impact it has created for you. So we are going to have a brief discussion. You hear their stories, what they're doing in the work that they do, and of course, how the mentorship program contributed to who they are as a people. So it's going to be like a combined session of 4 people. We're going to have Gladys Bain, we're going to have Mr. George, and of course, we're going to have Miss Pa, and we are going to have Madam Mirabel to also share on this. So it's going to be like a panel discussion moderated by Kamani, and then we are good to go from there. All right. Kamani, are you there? Go ahead, unmute your mic, get on video. And like I mentioned to all those who have been selected to do this panel discussion, you are supposed to be on video and lead this conversation and share with the people. All right. So every other person who you are here on this panel discussion, go ahead and get on video. All right, Kamani, go ahead and do your thing.
Hello everyone, good morning and Happy New Year. My name is Kamini Editesi and I'm joining right now from Yaoundé, Cameroon. It is a privilege for me to coordinate this aspect of the meeting, and like Dr. rightly said, we are going to have kind of a round table that will help each and everyone to understand best how the mentorship session has impacted their lives. So I'm going to be asking some few questions to the chosen. I call them the chosen. And there are 3 questions in total, and they have time to answer them. So for the first question, I would like to ask Mr. George, in 2 minutes, can you tell us your name and every other thing you want us to know about you?
Good morning, everyone. Can we get me, please?
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, Madam Edith. Thank you so much for the opportunities. Doctor, thank you so much. Okay, I'm Dango George Kabila, as you have seen on the screen and definitely on the flyer. Brief about me is that I've been a nurse from my background, and currently, actually, I doubt if that is the nursing field that is actually what I'm pursuing. Currently, I'm a recruitment consultant, and I run a startup called Gilead Career and Recruitment Consulting, which you may have seen online. And we've had great impact on most of the things we do. So we actually a B2B company where we help companies actually recruit from Cameroon, or actually companies that want to recruit in Cameroon, whether you're a startup, a medium-sized enterprise, or a large company. And equally, we help individuals get connected to those companies. Lastly, we position you on platforms like LinkedIn, Twitter, About.me, Upwork for maximum visibility and opportunities. So for the past 3 years, and that's 4 years actually, close on 5 now, we're on the 5th year now, we've assisted more than 1,500 professionals across. So you don't need to travel to come meet somebody, but done remotely. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. George. Mrs. Mirabel, Madam Mirabel, in 2 minutes, can you briefly describe yourself and what you currently do? Madam Mirabel?
Okay. Thank you so much, Madam Kamini. I am Mirabel Dumabe, and I joined the mentorship called in 2021, and I am the founder of Greenville, and our main objective in Greenville is to provide a holistic program towards mental health, peace building, and community development. For the past years, we have been doing amazing work in the field, and this I would want to tell you that all this happened because of the mentorship call. I was comfortably sleeping in my bedroom until I joined this call, and something triggered in me, and that fire came out and gave birth to this vision. Thank you so much. And for the past years, we have been affected. We have affected many lives, and in the field of epilepsy, in the field of peace building, in the field of mental health, many have come out of their deep situations because of our counseling services and our mentorship through this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Madam Mirabel. Now I call on Mispa. Mispa, who are you and what are you up to? Can you tell us in 2 minutes?
Thank you very much, Madam Kamini, for this opportunity. Thank you so much, Doctor. I'm grateful to be part of this panel discussion. My name is Bilifan Mispa, and we help individuals to be able to burn belly fats, keep fit, and most importantly, regain post-pregnancy fitness so that they can feel better and feel confident in their health again. And this didn't just come from the thin air, because by the time I joined mentorship, I didn't know my purpose. In fact, it's like, you remember Sea Life, Madam Kamini? That was the point whereby you have to regain your purpose and get to impact lives. And now we have a Facebook page, and we help. I'm sure you must have seen Kami Healthy Living Company Limited, and so many things are coming up. We're in the process of registering this year, and we've affected so many lives. We have a WhatsApp community, but this 2026 we're going to be holding one of the greatest wellness summits in Cameroon. So I'm grateful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Mispa. It is so great to know you. The last person on this list is Madam Gladys. Madam Gladys, can you briefly present yourself in 2 minutes?
Hello, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Sorry, I was driving. Just getting back here. My name is Gladys Bain. I'm an agile practitioner and consultant. So I joined Dr. Joybert's 2022 that I joined this amazing community. And since I joined, it has been upward growth, both spiritually and academically, even business-wise. So I'm so happy for this opportunity today. and I'll be ready to share more as we go. Thank you. So I'm in North Carolina.
Okay, thank you very much, Madam Gladys. We are going to take a second round, maybe in not exactly the same order, but want to go deeper to know. This question now is to Madam Mispa. Madam Mispa, when did you know Dr. Joybert? How did you join the mentorship session, and how has it impacted your life so far?
Wow, this is a beautiful question, and I've never had this opportunity to share, so it's really a privilege for me to share my story, how I joined. Actually, I joined the mentorship program in 2021. And in my surprise to you, I attended a program where Dr. Jabba was invited to teach. I think just for some, it was not a long period, but it was so impactful. He talked on 7 effective methods to, I cannot pick out the topic very well, but it was encouraging us as entrepreneurs, as young people. So I got interested and I took the list. There was a list attendance sheet round and I took his number. I saved it. I started following him online on projects, and then work we did future of Africa by with youths, and it just so gave me an opportunity to participate as a public relation officer. I've never done that before. So I kept following him. One time he said on his post that don't never assume mentorship. I think that was in 2021. Never assume mentorship. So I meditated on that and I told myself, never assume mentorship. What does that mean? So I reached out to him privately and said, Doc, I would like to become your mentee. And I got the procedure and I followed. Lo and behold, it was different. I can tell the difference between when I was just following him and when I became his mentee. So it was structured and it has so much impacted my life because at that point in time, I didn't have a purpose. My parents were pushing me, yeah, do this. I was not living on my own. I was still living in a family house. Because of his mentorship, I had to start as a lecturer at a university here in Yaoundé at a higher institute of communication interpretation. So I lectured there for a year and I got an experience. I was doing 2 things. I was lecturing and also working on the coaching, health, and wellness. So sometimes my colleagues, lecturers would tell me, now, what am I doing here? This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to be in the health field. So by the grace of God, fully and through Dr. Joybert's mentorship, I'm now fully into health and wellness. And I'm in the process of getting my certification. Also, this January, we're also in the process of getting the company registered, Camis Healthy Living Company registered. So it is really a big milestone for me. And one thing I discovered during this mentorship is that there is no time you're going to say that you've gotten enough and you want to cut off. Yes, maybe there's a principle of the bridge. Maybe some people come to your life just for a period of time. But for me, I discovered that the more you hear, the more you act. Dr. Joba is someone that when he says something, I always say, personally for me, that's what I discovered. When he says something, it always comes with the ability to do. And not only business-wise, have I benefited from Dr. Joy, but spiritually, my spiritual life has moved from point A, from points whatever where it was to now, and I'm still moving ahead. So I might not have arrived where I want to be, but the truth is I'm not where I used to be, both spiritually, career-wise, business-wise, a lot of things, accountability, like you don't sleep without having to jot down your accounts for the day. So it's something that it has just been a smooth ride all the way. I think if I get to have another opportunity, I'll get to share again on the panel. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Madam Ispa. Don't assume mentorship. Thank you for that powerful word. I'm going to ask Madam Mirabel. Madam Mirabel, when did you meet Dr. Joybert? How did you join his mentorship session? How did it help you to grow and tangible achievement that you had through this mentorship session? Take all your time because we really want to know these details. Madam Mirabel.
Okay, thank you for that. I knew Dr. Joybert in 2021. Just 2021, I went to a conference in Douala. He organized, he was the organizer of that conference. Oh my God, when he spoke, I've been attending conference, but nothing has ever jumped in my life like that day. Something skipped in me. I said, this is the person I've been looking for in that conference. And I was like, how can I connect to this person? How can this person be of great help to me? So there was a call for Mini-MBA in that conference. So I said, okay, let me take this course. It will draw me closer to him. So I immediately subscribed to take the course, the Mini-MBA course that same day. So I went through that course, and after the course, during the course, there were some mentorship programs that he will involve us, like the mentorship call of today. So I attended the first call, and I was like, this is what I actually wanted. And that is how, after the Mini-MBA, I told him I was interested to become his mentee, and that is how the journey began. So in that same 20, like the journey actually began and ended in 2022. And in that 2022, in that mentorship call, like there was 35 days of in the program. You need to answer questions daily. So the questions were like, he just knew my life, and each question was resonating with whatsoever was happening to me, because I love in during those days I was working and I just wanted to be concentrate in my work, and I was so satisfied. But before then, I knew there was more I could give in the field of counseling. I knew there was more I could give, but I never knew how to go about all these things. When it happened, when I became a mentee, and during the 35 days program, question and answers, there were a lot of things that my eyes were open to. The first thing that my eyes were open to, there was this question of like procrastination. And I was like, let me start something. And that is how, that's the breath of Greenbelt. There's nothing that I have that is not connected to Dr. Joybert. There is actually nothing that I have that is not connected to Dr. Joybert. For now, in my career, in what I do, there's nothing that I actually have that is not connected to him, because he triggered it, and that is how I started the vision. Greenbelt came up because I've been procrastinating it. I knew that I needed to do this thing, but each day, I would push it, I'm pushing it, I'm pushing it, I'm pushing it. That is why I had to start doing what I'm doing now in the field of counseling. It might surprise you to know that I was fully in the field of agriculture, but my calling, I knew that my calling was to be a counselor. Each time when I sit with somebody, because I've worked in that field for a very long time before going to school and becoming an agronomist. So each time when I sit with somebody, I find myself going back in the field of counseling. When I'm even in the field of agriculture, I do only counseling. So at one time I said, but this is my purpose. Why should I be beating around the bush? Because I always say, okay, I will do this thing, but I will do it in a way that I will just look for an office and I'll sit there and I'll just be doing it at my leisure. Like I'll just do it for, like, it's a leisure, something I love to do. But that time I saw it like purpose. You need to pick up this thing and run with it. So from his teaching, it gave me the push and I started running with it. And that is the birth of Greenbelt. And another thing that was so evident in my life, one of the days was, what did you drop that you regret dropping it? And I had just started my master's in leadership and I dropped it. I attended just one course and I dropped it. So when he told me, because you answer it and send it to him, he said, no, you have to go back and finish it. It was like, so the Holy Spirit whipping me. That is, I went back to school and I had to obtain my master's in leadership. He's not just a coach, and he is a balanced coach. I call him a balanced coach. In mental health, we did something, a balanced human being. So I saw that balance in Dr. Joybert. I saw that balance in Dr. Joybert. From that day, my life have never been the same. Be it intellectually, cognitive, or emotional, self-perception, social connection. He has been that one that has been holding my hand to run. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you.
very much. Thank you, Madam Mirabel. Now I get to Madam Gladys. We also want to know, Madam Gladys, when did you know Dr. Joybert? How did you join his mentorship session, and how has it concretely helped you to achieve your goals and to help you grow? Madam Gladys earlier said she was driving. I don't know if.
Okay, no, I'm okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I knew Dr. Joybert through a family member. So he was the one that introduced me to Dr. Joybert. So first thing I had to scan his materials. So when I went through previous teachings and other things that he's posting on YouTube, I'm like, okay. One thing that really stood out is the fact that he could balance his spirituality and his profession. So that really caught my attention because I've not seen somebody that spiritually he's right up there and he's excelling in everything he's doing. So as a spiritual person too, I look at it, I'm like, okay, I don't have any excuse. If someone that really trusts God this way, he can still study, put in all the work, and he stands out, he's very excellent. So that alone, I told myself that I have to join the mentorship. I reached out to him, like, I want to be part of it. So I joined the mentorship. It was during the early stage of my career. That was in 2022 as an agile analyst when I joined. So I was still struggling to find my way. But when I joined, listening to him, I was able to strategize. I was able to strategize what I was doing. I was able now to start. I could even I was able to really start the business. I had business ideas. I had things on my head, but everything was scattered. But since I joined the mentorship program, I was able to put those ideas. I was able to market them as a product, as he will always tell us. So during that session, during the course of the year, I realized that I was able to gain a lot of certification in my career as an agile practitioner. I even went ahead and get a consultant certification thanks to Dr. Joybert. Also, I was also able to uh, I opened about 2 businesses while still on this mentorship program. Then another big one for me that I really gained from there is my spiritual growth, the spiritual growth that I experienced under his mentorship. Like, I didn't know that you can manage the two. I could pray for how many hours, but I don't have time to study. You always give excuses that God will take control of everything. Grace. But when I saw him under his mentorship, I realized that as a child of God, you need to put in the work. The Bible says we should study to show ourselves approved. I saw that in him, that he will study. For him to come and speak to us, he will study. So I realized that every time after our session, at the end of the session, I'll spend like 2 hours, 3 hours researching, thinking outside of the box, of which before I joined the session, his mentorship program, that was not the case. But after I joined it, my mind was, when I'm sleeping, I'm thinking, what is the next thing? What can I package and give it out there as a product? So I'm always thinking ideas are coming, of which at first it wasn't like that. So that alone, his mentorship built that disciplined. Now I am disciplined. I'm able to package my skill, monetize it. Like one of his video that was watched, he said, when I sit with you, I'll be able to bring out like 10 product I'll be able to bring out a 10 product. When I sit with my own self, I evaluate what I know. I'm looking at, okay, I'm already seeing this product. I'm able to package this one. I'm able to sell this one. I'm able to sell this one. It's thanks to him because of the direction, his mentorship. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Gladys. Now, Mr. Dango George, please tell us, How first did you meet Mr. Joybert? When did you join his mentorship session? And how has it helped you practically in your growth?
Okay, thank you. I think, can we get me, please?
Yes, perfectly.
Okay, before I met Dr. Joybert, I think I was going through hell in terms of business. I think I saw somebody write, say, I'm a retired nurse. You can understand the salary base of a nurse in Cameroon. Away from the salary, running maybe a pharmacy, a little clinic. We study healthcare, and then we come to do business. That is what I did. So before I met Dr. Joybert in January 2021, I had gone through a lot of starting a business. It fails in 6 months. I started the next one. It got robbed, and I actually failed again. I went back again to the drawing board, building, and then on an orientation session at the Sea Life organization in Yaoundé, he actually explains a lot, and I understood that okay, I'm on the right place. That's my first time meeting him. I never actually knew that there ever existed any Dr. Joybert anywhere, or maybe anybody of his caliber. A friend had referred me to the organization and for the training, and immediately I signed up. That was on orientation. And my first time, I met with him one-on-one, March that year. We had a 30-minute session. I actually traveled for a 30-minute session and back from Douala to Yaoundé. The next time, after 3 months again in June, I got to him. I said, "Sir, I wish to submit to your mentorship." And he asked me a question. He said, "Is this amount okay? This is it. This is what is required." And I was unable to pay. That's the required amount. I think that was 30,000. And then he says, "If you're unable, you get back to me in 1 year." I got back to him the next year, and the amount had doubled. Unable again. So now in a business world, I was still wrapping my head into the stuff, following almost all materials, LinkedIn, everything he posted, everything he shared, the trainings, free and all of that, except that of the mentorship. I knew that there was something in it. So in 2023, I got to him, that was in August, and he gave me an exercise. Says, you paid this amount that actually had doubled again. And he said, you paid this amount, where you have this number of days, 25 days. And I paid in 10 days. And he said, okay, I'm not interested in the money. I'm interested in how did you get it? I had to send screenshots, explained. But before then, something had happened. When I got to him in 2022, he said, "Judge, you're building CVs, you're helping people get jobs, and I need you to do something for yourself. Track your progress." And I was like, "How do you do that?" "Okay, just build a business to scale." And I was like, "Oh, how do I do it?" And that's all. He actually explained, you need to go do the assignment. Some people feel like, okay, he'll come and bring up the mentorship for you and then break everything down and come and help you to execute. So I went back to the drawing board, and for the first 3 months, I tracked my finances, and I noticed that within 3 months, I made 600,000 from CV building. That was something shocking I had never tracked before. And I built CVs. I had to track CVs. Actually, I was just building a random before he asked me that question. From that 2022, I had to track everything. So by the time I joined the mentorship, it was another version. I remember one time he said, "George, you need to look at the fact that Gilead can actually go at scale, where an international organization and an international company can get to you requesting employees and they pay you so huge." I actually never saw that. And fast forward, it was when we had that session in January, 6 months after, I had a contract like that. That came like they were real. We had Zoom sessions back and forth and everything. Then I noticed that there were some documents I'd never known they existed. And He said, okay, these are the documents I needed to have. On the next mentorship call we had that month, the next month, I explained the thing and he said, that's to tell you that your business is profitable and you can take it to scale. Meaning, if they came to you, there's something about the business, there's something about it that you have positioned yourself, which you can position yourself again into and get those contracts. So it has been a shift. Let me just explain. In terms of monetization, we're building services at 5,000, a CV, at times CV LinkedIn at 15,000 and all of that. And we had a session, I had to build it in value systems. So I'll have more headache with somebody building and requesting a CV, whereas the person has 25 years of experience, and building a LinkedIn, the person has 25 years of experience. I had to go back to the drawing board. He actually explained that in one of our training sessions. There are customers in categories, the valuation too in categories. So I had to go back and we moved the services from 25,000, 50,000, 150,000. And I was shocked when a customer actually paid 200,000 cash for a CV and a LinkedIn service. So a lot. But if I was a nurse, which I'm still a nurse, but if I remained in that particular domain and never actually shifted my mind and came to him, and I never submitted too much to the point that my mind had to be shifted to executing the best. Trust me, most of you know the salary of nurses. Maybe you don't know. 30, 50,000, 90,000. Before I met him, I was earning that's 30,000 a month. My transport to work was 14,000. Somebody say 15K, right? Yeah, it's real. But when I got into expanding, not just building a CV, but expanding people's minds of what they are capable of doing at the workplace, the skills they have, the skills they have to acquire, and the things they have to build, I shifted pricing models. I shifted, and my mind actually shifted. So if you're thinking of joining, I joined already. So check again, and we are welcoming you to the team. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. George. Please stay back. I would like to ask you a final question. What final thought would you share about your experience on being mentored?
Okay, what final thoughts would I share? First thing is, I read a quote somewhere that by Tony Robbins, and he said, no one human being has every resources that you need. There's somebody who is into finance, there's somebody who is into spirituality, there's somebody who is into marriage. You need to tap from these various sources. And when I came to Dr. Javnyuy Joybert, I said, sir, I need you in my life as a financial mentor. I need my finances to shift. From my background, my back is on the ground. So he asked me a couple of questions. And one of the questions he asked is, what's your main objective for the next 10 years? I don't know if you get the point. So I had plans, but most of them were not structured. 99% of our meetings are more of strategies. Actually, what people see on YouTube, you see the recorded version of the meetings. You don't see the one-on-one chats we have where you actually table your complaint and he tells you, okay, Josh, from what we see, from what I see that you're doing, this is what happens. That is done after the sessions. So it's more of a strategy session and it's a strategy for your life. If you actually see that this is the end, if you actually see that you've ended at some point where you can't go ahead, then you have to be in this community. So there is work and there is a lot of things. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Next is Madam Mispa. Madam Mispa, in 1 minute, what final thought would you share about your experience on being mentored by Mr. Javnyuy Joybert?
Wow, I know 1 minute is actually small, but let's maximize 1 minute. It has been the one thought I'm going to say is that mentorship has a way of dragging you. Even in your dream, you see doctor telling you to wake up and do that damn thing. Like, it's not all about you having the plans, the goals written down. Though writing it, the Bible says, write the vision down and make it plain. Whosoever reader it will run with it. But after writing it down, you need to partner with the Holy Spirit to be able to accomplish it. So with Dr. Javnyuy Joybert, I have been able to be dragged, like you tie a goat and you're dragging. So you get to fight procrastination, whether I like it or not, with the structure, just with the 14-day, the 14-day plan. I like, God, because one of my own 14-day plan, the main thing is to come out with the 4 courses that we have because I'll be the main presenter in the Super Healthy Lifestyle Challenge that we have coming up. So you can be a part of it and not only live healthily because you're sick, but because you want to have a healthy energy and high level of energy all your life. So I'm so grateful. If you're still thinking whether to be part of Dr. Joybert's team or not, if you want to come just for your finances, just come. If you want to come just for your spiritual growth, come. Whatever, just pick the X that you want. I've picked mine. In fact, I want all. And so you can need all and you can have it all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, Madam Mirabel, what final thought would you like to share with us on your experiences of being mentored?
Okay, thank you so much. My final thought I want to share this final thought because mentorship call with Dr. Joybert is not a bed of roses. Yeah. So you have to put in the work. You are like a follower. He's a leader and you are following. You have to put in the work. You have to be there and doing it. You might see what he when he started this call, he said something. He said, what the mentees eat, I call this food. What we eat is not the general food. What you don't see what we eat in the social media platforms. In his social media platform, he teaches us deep secrets. So I want to say that it's a call for mentorship. I think what you'll be hearing here, you will not hear it elsewhere. You will not hear it elsewhere. His materials are always rich. That is why I say you cannot just come and live the same day because they are like he's like new every day. It's like a stream of water. The water keeps flowing. God has embedded him with a lot of things that you keep drawing, you keep drawing, you keep drawing. And I want to say for me, for Greenbelt, we were registered and we have been registered for 3 years, and this coming year it will be an amazing things that we have, amazing conferences. We have conferences in peace building, and I want to tell us something that doctor did to me I think this I had a conference and talking with doctor, he opened my mind. And the next after the conference, somebody called me to speak in his conference in Boya. Let me tell you, I've never been paid to talk anywhere. And I was shocked when they gave me the envelope. I slept in my hotel room and I was like, is this for real? Is this how this thing work? Like just like that. So I want to tell you that your life depends on you and the mentorship depends on you. You might become a mentee, but if you don't put in the work, he will be frustrated and you will feel frustrated also. Thank you so much, Camille. Thank you so much, Dr. Joybert. Thank you, the panelists.
Thank you very much, Madam Mirabel. And lastly, Madam Gladys, in 1 minute, what final thought would you share about your experiences on being mentored?
In 1 minute, I'm so thankful for this opportunity. One thing that I drew from this mentorship, it's a faith, discipline, and intentional action changed my life. Those 3 things, you cannot, as long as you're a mentee under Dr. Joybert, faith, discipline, and intentional action, you must take action. You cannot just come and you just be a spectator. Under his mentorship, you must take action. You can get whatever he's giving, the direction, but if you don't take action, your life will not move forward. You're not going to move forward. And if you don't have faith, spirituality, what he always tells us, If you don't have that, your life cannot move forward. So I'm giving these three things: faith, discipline, and intentional action. You have to take action. Whatever he's giving out here, you have to implement it. Like I said before, each time after our mentorship call, I'll spend like 2 hours or 3 hours. It's like there's a fire in my bone. Each time when I listen to him, I cannot sleep. I'll start thinking new strategies, how I can package my gift, how I can package what I already know, just getting on the call. So if you're here, you're still thinking like, is this a place to be? This is a place to be. You're going to learn everything. You're going to learn everything, money, everything, even relationship, how to treat your partner, whatever, everything. Doctor is giving us everything. So thank you so much, Doctor.
This is a place to be. Thank you
It
very
is,
much,
yeah.
Madam Gladys. Thank you very much, Madam Mirabel. Thank you very much, Madam Mispa. And thank you very much, Mr. Dango George. Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for listening. This is the end of this part, but the meeting is not yet done. So I hand over to Dr. Joybert to continue with the rest of the meeting. Thank you.
Awesome. 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 Thank you so much, Kamani, for for leading this panel discussion. Thank you for leading this, and it was a last minute thing. And for other mentees who are wondering, why didn't you select me? Is there any mentee here who was like, why didn't you call me to share my testimony? Type me in the chat box. If that's you, let me tell you how this happened. I know some mentees are like, why didn't you? Why was I not on this list? Right? But these people, I just reached out. The first name that came to my mind, I just sent, can you do this? And there was no special consideration, just people that were available. And they graciously, thank you so much. Gladys, thank you. Mispa, thank you. Madame Mirabel, thank you. George, for sharing your incredible feedback and testimony of the mentorship program. All right. Awesome. Thank you so much, Prosper, for sharing your feedback in the chat box. All right, let's get into it, and then we are done for today. And I hope that even people who are going to be here, and for those who are here and you will not end up being a mentee or being in the exclusive community, I believe that what I'm going to share right now is going to contribute to your life. I always live by a mantra that I don't want to ever have an experience where a human being come across me and they remain the same. It means that I am not the light of the world. That is one of my core philosophies I live by. If you come across me, what I say should impact you the way I actually impact you. There should be that direct transformation or contribution because you and I came across the same path. And in one way or the other, I hope that in the next few minutes, I will be a blessing to you. So today, and this is part of a teaching series I'll be doing within the mentorship community, I want to teach on what I call the iceberg theory for elite performance. This is one of those theories and theory doesn't mean theory in essence, is talking about a principle, it's talking about a system. If you want to be an elite performer in your career, in your business, I strongly believe that this is one of those principles that helped me a lot as a person. And this principle, those have been mentees for a couple of years, they have been practicing it, maybe without even knowing. And that's why there are certain assignments and activities I give to the mentees, and the purpose is to help them to be elite performers in what they are doing. And if you look at the graphic on your screen, you're going to see the iceberg right behind my picture there. You see that the bigger part of the iceberg is under the water. I want you to have that picture in your mind. The bigger part of the ice is inside the water. what is above the water is just a small part. And that is a very important principle if you are going to be an elite performer. And I always like to, please listen to me very well. When I say an elite performer, I'm talking about somebody who has a holistic life. If you're an elite performer, when it comes to your life, let's say career-wise, you are rising, you're growing, and you're doing okay. If you run a business, you're growing and you're running a profitable business. Your finances are growing on a consistent basis. Your influence, your impact. Because being an elite performer, there are people that they say that they are elite performers, meanwhile they are just busy. Because one sign that you are busy is that your consistent efforts are not directly affecting three key things in your life: the influence you bring, the impact you create, and the growth of your income. If you are consistently doing things in your life and these three things are not shifting on a consistent basis, there's a high chance you're a very busy person and you're not a productive person. Like I always say, there is a big difference between busybody and productivity. And I always challenge my mentees on a monthly basis, on a yearly basis. Always look at the things I do as a person. Are these things directly affecting three key areas in my life? The influence I bring as a person. This influence is big. It talks about influence in your industry, influence in your community. If you are married, influence to your wife or your husband. Right? So I always challenge them on a monthly basis, even on a bi-monthly basis and annual basis. Always look at the things I am doing. Even this call that you're in right now, on this Zoom call right now, for many, this Zoom call is primarily 4 a.m. Cameroon time, right? So for many of you who left your bed at 4 a.m. and you're on this call right now, or for those of you in North America and you're staying late at night into 12 a.m. and 1 a.m. to be on this call, if the call itself is not in one way or the other enhancing the influence you're going to bring as a person in your generation and the impact you can create, and of course, enhancing your income, there's something wrong. And that's a very good matrix to always use to decide if this thing I'm about to do, you can do this in less than 10 seconds. This gossiping, this movie, this social media scrolling, all these things I'm about to do, will they contribute or bring a return on investment that will positively enhance the life I live? So I want to talk to you about the Iceberg theory for elite performance. It's a very foundational principle, but it is one of those things that contribute greatly to making people who you respect and you honor and you celebrate across industries and across nations. I always fondly say that success is not a public event. Let me say it again. Success is not a public event. If you are still the kind of person that you enjoy when people celebrate you beyond the private levels, beyond the private activities that you do, there's something wrong with how you see yourself. Success has never and will never be a public event. Success, when you look at people that have been able to perform at a very high level in what they do in their careers or in their business, one thing you're going to see is that the results they are able to create is the outcome of private mastery, private sacrifices, private discipline, private self-control, private consistency. And whatever you see in public that is being celebrated or being projected is as a result of the hidden mastery on unseen sacrifices and invisible discipline. So the mistake that most people make, especially in this our perception generation, that's how I call it. We're in a perception generation, perception economy, appearance generation. So as a result of social media growth, like I always say, there are things that my mother dealt with years ago. Praise God, she's in the chat box. She's on the Zoom call, right? I need to deal with that she did not deal with years ago. They did not have, the rampant social media that we have today when they were growing up. So we have more distractions today than our parents did. And because of the perception economy that we are part of, which is good, the bad, and the ugly, right? And because of, the microwave generation we are part of, many people get to make this big mistake, especially the younger generation, especially, the millennials, the Gen Zs and the alphas and these people. The mistake that most people make is that they chase the visible fruits of success while ignoring the invisible systems that produces the success. So that is why many social media influencers and people are very popular. And like I always say, mostly the masses and people who don't think beyond what they see like to chase after things like that. You need to go a step further and begin to understand that the visible fruits that you see in anybody, there are invisible systems and roots that produce that visible results that you see. So just like the iceberg that we saw, 90% and above of elite performance in any field, in any industry, happens beneath the surface. Now, why am I starting this year's mentorship, especially for those who are in the mentorship community, to drive the whole of this year? Because I already have my curriculum. I'm going to teach you guys till December. It's already designed, right? So I never, when I'm in a year, 90% of the things I'm going to do for that year is already planned. So that I think I'm already working on for 2027 already, right? So I already have my curriculum for the whole year for this mentorship community. And so why am I starting with this iceberg theory? Your performance for the rest of the year depends on this principle, and your performance likely for the rest of your life. Because just like the iceberg that we saw, 90% and above of elite performance happens beneath the surface. So every hidden mastery, private sacrifices, private discipline, commitment that the public cannot see is what will produce the performance that people can begin to celebrate and you can begin to celebrate. And if you don't understand that, success in career, in business, in any other thing is built in private through daily practice, through daily discipline, through daily execution, through daily sacrifices, long before anyone sees the result. Very important. This is a very important consciousness to have. There are some things that you're going to do for years, 3 to 5 years, before anybody ever see the result you can bring to the table and even pay you or celebrate you. And if you're not willing to sit with yourself, challenge yourself, I need to pay the private sacrifice for public elevation. You're going to go through year in, year out, and you're going to keep feeling that there is more I can become. There is more I can do. But at the same time, you are not living the more that you desire. So, because real performance, real success, real result is built quietly, through the daily habits that you maintain consistently, through the hard work that you put in before anybody begin to notice anything about you. You see, because the point is that what people celebrate publicly is produced by years of private learning, years of private practice, and years of self-control. Let me say it again. What people celebrate publicly is produced by years of private learning, years of private practice, and years of private self-control. You see these three things? If they are not visible in your life, I mean visible to you, not to any other, to you as a person, you don't have a system of private learning. You pay the price to grow in understanding, insight, and knowledge acquisition. And you don't end there, you go a step further and you begin to practice private practice. You go a step further and you master how to practice self-control. Why? Because I always talk about self-control because there was an article I wrote on the appetites that destroy kings. One thing I like to do is I like to go back years backward, 100 years backward, 200 years backward, to read about the people that made a big name in their time and in their century or in their decades. What did they do and what did they not do well? So we can learn from that. And when you begin to study the kings of the past, leaders of the past, and influential people, one of the things that destroyed them was their appetite. Appetite. And top three are appetite for sex, appetite for money, and appetite for power. And appetite affects how you think, how you perceive, how you understand, how you analyze, and how you act. And when your appetite is louder than your reasoning and your logic and your understanding, you will always make mistakes. And that's why if you don't understand how to build private self-control, there are some people here right now, you cannot control your appetite for social media. Your appetite for social media is louder than your desire to make it in life. Your appetite for movies is louder than your desire to make it in life. Your appetite for alcohol is louder than your destiny building. Show me a person who has strong private learning. You create a system around you to constantly build your mental intelligence. Number two, somebody who practices private practice. You have a system around you to practice what you're learning. You're a builder, you're not a consumer. Anybody you see in public that is being celebrated, honored, or paid, you're going to notice one thing: they are builders. Consumers are never celebrated, they're never paid. Only contributors and builders are highly sought after and they are paid. So look at where you are right now as we begin to advance into 2026 as a community. Do you have a private learning system? Do you have private practice? Are you growing in your self-control? These things are very important. Because if you cannot master the unseen, forget about public elevation. Let me say it again. If you cannot master the unseen, forget about public elevation. A David must be able to master how to kill the lion and the bear in private when nobody is seeing and clapping before you can be able to confront Goliath and cut off his head. It's the principle of rising and standing tall. It's very important. Because if you're going to sustain career success, business success, any performance, sustained success is usually the byproduct of choosing the path in life to pursue for the rest of your life. Number two, establishing a system of execution around you. Number three, compounding discipline. These things are going to play a big role in what you do. You see, because people don't, that's always say that there. I'm going to go churchy a bit, but I always say that anything that enables you to practice procrastination, or you constantly have projects a lot in your life, it's a demonic attack. In quote, a demon is anything that is resisting you from advancing to the place of destiny manifestation. All right. So anything in your life that can effortlessly enable you to procrastinate, to postpone doing something that is critical for your rising, is a demonic attack. Because a demon is not just something like, anything, a movie, let me say it this way, it's a TV show, a series movie can be a demon. You're so addicted to it, you spend hours to watch on a consistent basis, and your time to study every day is 10 p.m. And you notice that in the last 4 days, anytime 10 p.m. reaches or arrives, you're going to postpone to go study, so you watch the next episode of that series. You get the perspective? It's an attack against your rising. It's an attack against what you're building. And if you're not able to master the unseen systems and sacrifices and discipline and habits that can compound over time and make you a voice in your generation, increase your ability to create value and become prosperous in what you do, you're going to get something wrong. And years after, you're going to wonder, where did I get it wrong? You see, I do a lot of coaching, and I've had the privilege to provide one-on-one coaching to a lot of people who are above 40. I always say this one job that people who are way older than you, way richer than you, call you sir, right? But I've had the privilege, and it teaches me, it challenges me also as a young man, right? I've had the privilege of providing coaching to people who, let's say, 40 and 45 and above. What they popularly call midlife crisis. This is going to bless most younger people. Let's say you're 30 and below, 35 and below, maybe. But one of their greatest regrets is that before they knew it, life had gone so fast, and they clocked 40, 45, and that was when they realized that they were not building something tangible and significant. And I will say that most of the people that get to regret a lot, this is maybe a small number, but this is like hundreds of coaching sessions, right? Most of the people that I've come across that get to regret a lot, I always notice that they were deficient in 3 main areas. Listen to me carefully. This may be what somebody needs right now to cause a shift in their life forever. The people that clocked 40, 50, and then they had regrets, they noticed that they could not produce results the way the desire was there, but they didn't have the ability or the knowledge or the information to do that. I noticed they were deficient in 3 main areas. Number one, mental intelligence. So they did not pay the price to constantly build their mental capacity. Number two, spiritual capacity was not there. So life was hitting them and hitting them. They did not have the spiritual capacity to withstand what was coming at them. You cannot do this life. You're a spiritual being first. I always say that is why only God, Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and human beings can talk. Talking is spiritual. That's why animals don't talk. So they were deficient spiritually. Number three, they were deficient industry-wise. Talking about industry proficiency. So they were at the age of 40, 50, and you're like, okay, in this industry, if they come into your country and they're looking for the top 20% experts in your country, can you be among the top 20%? They cannot feature. You know why? When they left school, got a job, they did not pay the price again to build industry proficiency. So they got to the age of 40, 50. Life was becoming more expensive, becoming more challenging. They desired to become more and to do more, but the internal capacity was not there to enable them to do more. You can never achieve beyond your internal capacity. Are you getting this? So the mental capacity was not there. Spiritual capacity was not there. And industry proficiency was not there. So they felt as if, okay, is this all about me? But you see, thank God that your brain is like a muscle. If you decide and wake up and pay the price and say, you know what? Okay, I may have got it wrong in the last 10, 20 years of my life, but God gave me a brain that I can learn. If you sit, begin to pay the price. And that's where the challenge comes in, paying the price to sit and build capacity. It is not fun. And that's why I spoke about self-control. If you don't have the self-control and the discipline to sit and build capacity, I'm telling you, it is more fun to watch Netflix right now than to sit and listen to this Banso man talk to you. I'm telling you, there's something more better and more fun that your flesh, your carnal nature can enjoy. It is more difficult to sit right now and listen to me. It is much easier to watch a movie right now. But that is why self-control is an important attribute for anybody who's going to make it big in anything. You must learn how to discipline yourself. Lead yourself. Sit and build capacity. If not, a few years from now, you'll be almost in the same spot, God forbid. Because life can only give you what you give into life. And that's why the iceberg theory is very important. All right, quickly as we round up. There are 4 different frameworks on the iceberg theory. I'm going to teach one, then the other 3 I'm going to teach in the next previous mentorship call session. Now, the number 1 is what I want to challenge everybody to do. I call it the depth of mastery model. Under the iceberg theory, the first model to practice is the depth of mastery model. Follow me carefully. Now, why is it that most people stay average in what they do? Average in their careers, in business, even in marriage, in important things that are critical for their lives. Average financially. Many people stay average because they don't pay the price to develop the depth of mastery in that area of their life. Because it is possible to train or to study for performance or to post on social media. You see, there are two types of people when they're doing anything when it comes to learning. People that learn to show or to perform, and people that truly learn to develop depth of mastery. So under the Iceberg theory of elite performance, one of the things that you have to begin to make sure that is under your hood, is under you, like your engine is, begin to pay the price to develop depth of mastery in core areas of your life. The main reason most people stay average and live average lives is because they don't pay the price to develop that depth of mastery in core areas of their lives. So most people remain small, average, because they don't pay the price to begin to deeply understand key things about their lives. It could be paying the price to deeply understand their skills, their industry, their nation, the economy where they're building, and any other area of their life. You know why? Because it is depth. It is depth of mastery that leads to long-term results. If you want to consistently achieve results for the next 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, or as long as you live, one thing you cannot negotiate is the price of developing depth of mastery. Don't learn to perform. Don't learn to prove a point. Don't read a book so you can share on social media you read 20 books a year. That is learning to perform. Elite performers don't learn to perform. They learn to build depth of mastery so they can consistently maintain long-term results in what they're doing. They learn so they can solve real problems as industry professionals. And mastery in anything that you do grows when you train yourself to understand that particular thing. You see, because this is important. It's important. If your life is missing the depth of mastery in what you're doing as a human being, there is something wrong with your future. There's something wrong. Because you will always be, in business, we always talk about there are two types of products majorly. There's a product which is a nice to have product, and there are some products that are a must have products, right? So, basic example, I am using this mic right now to teach. But my laptop has an inbuilt mic. Sometimes I forget to connect this mic and I do my Zoom sessions and my Zoom consultations and meetings. So this mic is good, but it's a nice to have. But you see, the inbuilt mic in the laptop is a must have. There are some products that, whether they're expensive or not, you're going to buy, right? They must have for you. All right. What am I saying? It's the same for you in life. If you're going to build a life that can produce results for a long period of time or for the rest of your life, there are some things in your life that must be a must have. You have to pay the price, go the extra mile, and make sure those things are in your life. One of them is paying the price to develop that depth of mastery. And that is the iceberg theory, because mastery, what I'm doing right now, I'm teaching kind of effortlessly, because this is what I study for every day for the last 15 years. For the last 15 years, the least amount of time I spend to study and to practice is 4 hours every day. That I'm lazy and I'm very busy, I do 4 hours of studying and practicing. It's a law I live by. because study is important for the work I do. And studying is not fun. I have to pay the price to do that. There are days my body wants to watch movie, but my brain wants to study, right? But you need to pay that price and do that. Because that depth of mastery must consistently begin to grow. So let me share with you, let me quickly list the 4 pyramids of depth of mastery. And this pyramid will show you where you are in your journey of mastery. All right. The aim is to challenge you, to encourage you. Look, I always say that there. I always say that this is from personal experience. And, I have friends who are almost in the same pot of soup like me. But I always say that in this generation, one of the fastest ways to rise to the top or to become a voice in your industry is to pay the price to become a master at what you do and know how to use media. It is much easier now to come from a background from a poor family. I mean, a very, very poor family. And there are some things that if you do, pay the price and do, you're going to break the back of poverty over your life. In this generation, if you can know how to pay the price of mastery and know how to drive your media narrative, I am telling you, you're going to succeed in ways you did not imagine. I always fondly say this is being streamed on social media, right? I always fondly say that nobody can really stand and say, you know what, if I did not do this for Joybert, he would not have succeeded or be where he is today. I come from a very, humble family, poor family, born out of wedlock. So the best my mom could do was to see me off through high school. I started sponsoring myself from immediately I was done with high school. That's the kind of, because a family that they cannot be able to pay your university fees means that life was not okay, right? So, but you see, years ago, when I started on the path, I used to say something funny. It was like a quote I was living by. And my mentees know this quote. I always say that I am going to become so good at this thing that nobody can ignore me. I am going to pay the price and become so good at this thing that nobody can ignore me. You see, there are many ways to rise to the top, right? People can endorse you, recommend you, point you here, do this, do this. And if you come from a background where there's no uncle or auntie that can announce you, endorse you, recommend you, hold your hand, bring you into a room, one of the fastest ways to enter rooms that you don't deserve by name, by godfather or godmother, is for you to become so good that the rooms begin to look for you. That is one thing that helped me. The right rooms began to look for the skills I had. You see, so it is very important to understand that. And like I was being interviewed, I think it was in BBC, one of these international channels, and the guy who was interviewing me came to Kumbu years ago. So he knew Banso or Kumbu years ago, more than 20 years ago. So he knew the Kumbu, and then we were sitting somewhere in a country. So he was like, so how did you leave Kumbu to be invited in a room like this? That was his question. And I said something funny. And he thought I was joking, but that was the truth. I said, God, hard work, and social media. Right? And he thought I said, that's the truth. I said, God, hard work, and social media. Due to the work I do, I've been invited to speak consult in over 20 countries plus. And I can bet you more than 90% of those opportunities came from people who saw articles, videos, or something somewhere. And okay, with your skill set, you can do this. You can come and do this. How much do you charge? When can you fly? Deal is done. So that was to come back to this. And you see, this depth of mastery is across all levels because nobody arrives. I am still paying a price to keep on growing in that depth of mastery. I know other role models in the same industry like me who charge 10 times better than me, they do bigger things than me. And every day of their lives, they're still paying the price of going deeper and deeper as far as depth of mastery is concerned. So nobody arrives. Nobody arrives in this process. You constantly rise. You constantly push yourself. So this depth of mastery, I categorize it in 4 levels. And I'm going to explain briefly and then we end. You see where you fall. Number 1, I call it the surface level mastery. This is where majority of the human race is found. I always say that the society is like this, like a pyramid. Those are the top, and then those are the middle class and the bottom, right? So the first level for most people is what I call the surface level mastery. Now, this is where people here, they practice basic level learning. This is where they are too lazy to learn themselves, so they focus on copying other people. So they focus on copying other people who are already producing the results that they desire. So they cannot pay the price to learn, so they focus on copying. These are people that, to them, learning happens best by, observing. It's good, but if you only observe and you do nothing else, that's just surface level mastery. You see that? And that's not enough. This level is for beginners. And most of the times, everybody starts here, but don't stay there. It is dangerous if you remain here too long. Most people stay average in life and they grow old and they die because they never go beyond the surface level mastery. Now, those who want to start producing bigger results now move to the next phase, which is structural mastery. They begin to create structures around them for the purpose of growing deeper in mastery. And they go beyond just learning, they add implementation. They create a structure to learn and a structure to practice. You see that? Like, for example, there are many activities I have in the mentorship program this year. One of them is, we used to read books, but I have updated the way we're going to read books this year. And one of the things that we're going to do under book reading is that there are a number of books that we're going to read throughout this year. But we are not going to end our reading books because I want all the mentees in the mentorship program to operate from that structural implementation for results, right? So we're going to be looking at, I will assign a book we're going to read one book like in 2 months. And when a mentee finishes reading a book, they're going to document a core summary from the book. And after that, it's a step-by-step process. After the summary, they're going to develop a practical action plan from the book, okay, based on what I learned. In order to integrate the lessons from this book, this is my action plan for the next 2 months to practice what I learned. Right? Because, and when they do that, there's a program I'm building with my guys right now. It's gonna be like an app where we're gonna use, where after like 3 months, I'm gonna follow up and check. Can you give me evidence of applied learning? There's something I call evidence of applied learning. Okay, you develop an action plan to apply that you learn this and this from this book. Not many things. It could just be 3 key things that you learn and you want to apply. No problem. But after like 3 months, 4 months, okay, show me proof of evidence of applied learning. I'm not looking for perfection. Nobody's perfect. But I prefer somebody who applies and fails. But you are applying. That person is going to learn faster and produce more results than anybody else. Because I want to avoid the issue of reading without application. So that is an example of structural mastery. Creating a system where you You learn to develop that depth. And number two, there's a system under that structural mastery where you begin to apply the knowledge effectively. You begin to follow a playbook that you can apply what you are learning. And this is the place where you begin to grow that depth of mastery and you begin to understand things like systems, processes, frameworks. And this is a level where you can repeat something. You can repeat the result that you are creating. So, are you at surface level mastery or are you at structural mastery? Type where you are right now in the chat box. Type in the chat box and in the comment section. Where are you? Are you at surface level mastery or are you at structural mastery? If you lie, I'm going to prophesy to you. Go ahead in the chat box. Where do you belong? Surface level mastery or structural mastery? This is for you and I. This is for you to challenge yourself so you can go deeper. All right. Awesome. Now, what is the third level? The third level of mastery to work on. I call it the deep mastery or the innovator's mastery. The deep mastery or the innovator's mastery. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? So when you leave structural mastery, you now get into that, innovator's mastery or the deep mastery. Now, what does that mean? Quickly, and then as we round up. Now, this is where you are getting to a level where many of my mentees who have been here, who have been with me for some time, many of them are functioning at this level. People like George. George is functioning from this level. And somebody like Bertine, I track my mentees a lot, right? So those who are committed. Now, when I say you are at the deep mastery or innovators level mastery, this is where you don't just learn from a mentor. You don't just, read books and try to apply, but you have so grown that you understand yourself, you understand your industry, that you create your own original strategies to advance your life. You get the perspective. You're creating your own stuff. You know yourself so well. You have grown in your knowledge base and practice so well that you create your own original strategies to advance your destiny and your career. You're what I call an innovative master or deep mastery. You're still learning, though. So this is somebody who you read a book, you don't just copy and paste the book. No. You know how to, you can pick just one insight from the book. But because of how much you know yourself and how much work you've been putting in the last 5 years or 10 years, you know where you're going to. You know your capacity. You know what they're willing to put in to produce results. You craft your own strategy. You craft your own original strategies to practice it and advance in life. So, this is somebody, when you're learning or you're reading a book, you're focusing on what kind of principles and systems can I create and apply in my life. Somebody who is operating from this deep mastery or the innovator's mastery, this kind of person, you put them in any nation, in any city, you feel that you have thrown them away and they're stranded. Give them 3 years. Give them 2 years. They are going to rebuild a strategy and rise in that country because they can replicate. They can replicate what you're doing. I always say something funny. When I go to any city or any country, I know what to do to get the mayor's attention. If it's a governor, I know what to do. I can also, and there's no city I've entered to. I've traveled many cities that I don't do something that will get the attention of a voice in that city. Because there are some things that when you do it so well, You become so good at it that you can replicate the solutions and the strategies from ground up anywhere you are. This deep mastery. When it comes to money, you lose all your money. You don't cry about the money you lost. No. You're like, oh, I got my brain, I got my experience. Give me time. Give me time. As long as there are human beings that have money in their pocket, give me time. I will be back. Deep mastery. People who operate from deep mastery, I am telling you, there is no disappointment on earth that can keep them down. Never. They will rebuild back up and even better than who they used to be. They solve problems clearer and faster. Their thinking is flexible, adaptable across contexts. You put them in Dubai, they are going to adapt and think according to Dubai. You put them in South Africa, the same thing. You put them in Cameroon, Bamenda, the same thing. You put them in the UK, London, the same thing. There is no box that can hold them. None. None. Because their thinking is flexible. Their thinking is adaptable across contexts. Because as an innovator or somebody with deep mastery, you know how to create new models to achieve what you want to achieve at that particular season of your life. You're not the kind of person that your decisions are no longer emotional. No, your decisions and your strategies are guided by logic, insight, experience, frameworks, methods, and you are comfortable at failing because you know that failure is a tool for learning, not a threat to your success. That's a deep mastery level person. From there, now you get to the last level where you that intuitive mastery. You have become what you can call the unconscious expert. Unconscious expert. You are executing things at a level that automatically feels automatic. There are some things that because of how much you have practiced the execution, the consistency, you have become an unconscious expert. So this is where your skill set is that your skill set are part and parcel of your DNA. Your skills are so internalized that execution feels natural and effortless. There are some people that if you put them in front of people like this to talk, they will pray for the ground to open and the ground will swallow them. Right? But I've done this for years that I have never put me anywhere at any time. I will have something to say that will fit the audience that I'm talking to. And getting to that unconscious level of expertise, that intuitive mastery. This is where you're so good at your decision making. You're so perceptive that you can anticipate a problem before it fully appears because you know the different moving parts. You know the signs. You can read the signs. Your actions are precise. Your actions are well timed. You know what to do in December, what to do in January, what to do. You know exactly what to do, when to do, how to do it. Because I've paid the price and you have grown your mastery. And this level is built over time. You don't rush it. It's built over time. And this is where we should be driving at getting that unconscious level of expertise. It doesn't mean that you're not growing again. No. You're refining, you're reskilling, you're upskilling, you're stacking some skills and learning some tools and becoming better at what you do. But your proficiency is incredible, incredible. Because you're so effortless at how you execute. So where do you belong? Are you at surface level mastery? Are you at structural mastery? Are you at deep mastery or the innovator's mastery? Or are you at the intuitive mastery or the unconscious mastery? So I have some few questions for you as a roundup. I'd like to ask you questions to ponder upon to see how they can integrate what they learned into their lives. Like I always say, if you sit through this teaching right now and nothing changes in your daily lifestyle and your habits, you were entertained, you are not transformed. You can watch a movie for days and nothing changes in your life. That's entertainment. So if you read a book and that book does not change something in you, in your routine, your habits, your lifestyle, you were entertained. You were not transformed. What brings transformation? Integrating what you're learning into your daily life. Let your habits change because of what you heard today. Let your daily routine change because of what you heard today. Now, that is transformation. So, I always say that when you meet a successful person, when you meet somebody who is doing things that you admire, there are very good questions you can ask them. And one question I like to ask successful people is this, and I want you to ask that question to your future successful self. So it will challenge you to see what you should stop doing today. When I met a successful person doing incredible things across the world, one question I like to ask them is, what temptations did you repeatedly decline to get to where you are? Let me say it again. What temptations did you repeatedly decline to get here? I asked one man, he told me point blank, the temptation of having many ladies around me as side chicks. Another guy said, the temptation of declining alcohol consumption. There are certain temptations that I'm telling you, if you don't start rejecting them today, 10 years after, you may have regrets. So I want to ask you a question. What temptations are currently in your life now that you have to repeat on a daily basis? Decline the temptations. It could be movies, excessive movies. Nothing wrong with movies. I watch movies, but I have a system around me. The current system I'm using is that I have movies I like to watch. So I set 3 months goal. When I finish my goals within that 3 months, then I watch one movie. So I currently watch one movie every 3 months. Right? So I create my own systems to help me, be productive. So because I love movies. When Prison Break came out, I watched Prison Break for 2 days nonstop. That's how crazy I was addicted to movies. So where you are right now in life, based on where you want to go, I ask you this question again. What temptations do you need to repeatedly decline on a daily basis so you can become an elite performer in 2026 and beyond? Some of you know that this question is like somebody whipping you. Like, this question is for me. I needed this question. You know what temptations do? Temptations mature into something that will destroy you very soon. Temptations mature that will destroy you very soon. I always tell people, may you not pamper what will destroy you tomorrow. That is the one question I want to challenge you today. What temptations do you need to repeatedly decline on a daily basis so you can focus on the consistent routines and habits that build your internal system that enables you to produce results in public? For those who are in the registered mentorship program, When we're going to meet in the next few days, I'm going to announce in the group. I'm going to teach the part 2 of this series, which I call the private excellence principle, and how that contributes to your elite performance. And I hope that those who are just, people in the mentorship interest group, I hope that what I shared today contributed to your growth, challenged you, inspired you, opened your eyes to something, or made you angry at yourself in order to become a better person, so that your destiny can look at you tomorrow and say, thank you, thank you, thank you for what you did. Awesome. All right, that is it for today. Thank you all for being here. We overextended our time, but it was kind of necessary. But thank you for staying back. If you are interested to be part of them, I think I want to accept 10 more people and then totally done. Because I always say that the mentorship is not about the money. The 40,000 francs I was charging for this year, it cannot give me financial breakthrough. So I was telling one lady, she was asking a few questions. I just told her, look. The money you're paying me cannot give me financial breakthrough, okay? I don't need your money, and you don't need me in this life, basically. So please feel free to go your way with your money, and let me stay with my knowledge, right? So mentorship has never been about the money, because there are things that I teach my mentees that companies pay me times 20 to teach them the same thing. So it has never been about money. The purpose of the money I ask is, when it's too free, people don't value it. Because for those who are mentees, I had to dissolve. My mentorship used to be a lifetime mentorship. I used to charge a particular fee, and then you're a mentee for lifetime until you leave, or until you reject me as a mentor, or I reject you. But I had to dissolve it as a last year because the mentees were not serious. So I stopped it. So you know what? It's going to become yearly now. Okay, it's going to become yearly. So it's not about, because I cannot keep carrying, because mentorship is weight. Because I need to consciously have in my mind that, okay, I have people that I am responsible for in one way or another. I have people that every month I need to challenge them, I need to teach them, I need to encourage them, I need to, so there's that weight in, mentorship is spiritual, right? So you're constantly conscious that, hey, there are people that, are depending on you to advance in what they need to do in life. All right. So, because for those of you who under this session alone, supposed to charge this session in a normal paid session, it's not more than the money you paid for the whole year. For those who have paid the mentorship program, right? Awesome. All right, people. We're going to stay connected. For those who are in the interest group, feel free to stay around. When I'm doing other free webinars program, I always just share in all my community programs. Those are in the various WhatsApp groups. So if you're interested, you can still stay around, and so they can always benefit from other programs I do that are not paid and are open to just serve the community as much as we can. Thank you again, everybody. God bless you. If you have any questions, you're in the WhatsApp group, you can send me a WhatsApp message, and I will happily respond to you. If you're watching on YouTube, on Facebook, you can see a WhatsApp number on the description section of this video. You can shoot a message, and of course, somebody will reach out to you, or I will reach out to you personally. All right. God bless you all, and see us in elite performance and high results like never before.